Hello there and welcome back to Legends Lounge. And we do have two legends, by the way, today too. I mean, the music world and the football world collides here. We're live from the Oxford Exchange in Tampa, Florida. We're sponsored by Mad Dogs and Englishmen, where I go for a pint after the show. We got Hootie and the Blowfish the drummer of Hootie and the Blowfish, Jim Sonefeld. And we got the legend, my mates, that is Phil Thompson. 13 trophies, Liverpool captain, of course.
To get these 13 trophies, Rod?
You told
21.
Me. You told me.
It's 21.
Oh, no, you was captain for 13. That's what it was.
Ah, okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. By the way, that's not too shabby a record, that is it? 21 trophies, 13, and including Champions League, by the way. Let me say that.
Well, yeah, just 3 of them.
Okay, another question, before we get onto the World Cup, a little bit on the World Cup, another question from our listeners was, what do you guys do? You go first, Phil. What do you guys typically do at Christmas, and was it any different when you were playing football and Jim was playing on the road somewhere? What's your Christmases like?
Well, Christmases it was always great because you'd get up. The club would always allow us to be at home on Christmas morning, and we'd come in about 11 o'clock, something like that. And it was great because you'd get away from all the cooking, all the looking after the kids. The kids would open the presents, and then you'd say bye, and you'd go off training. And it was great because you'd be with the lads, and it'd be just fun and laughter every Christmas day. And it was the same thing every year. And even when I became a coach, we'd make sure Gerard Houllier likes to have the boys in on a Christmas day, but come in later on, like 4 o'clock, something like that, so they could all sort of get up and enjoy the Christmas morning. So it was always a wonderful time, and we did the same thing all the time. You know, we're successful, and I think we didn't need to change. Change was bad back in the day.
Great point. That's a great point. When you're winning, everything goes along smoothly. Oh, by the way, before I move on to it, Jim, another question to your point just now, and that is, could you choose between Shankly and Paisley? Who would you think is the greater legend, bit better manager? Or don't you want to do that?
You know, probably the better manager is in your face, who's Bob Paisley, because he won 6 league titles and 3 European Cups in 9 years.
Wow.
Truly amazing statistics from him. But when you're talking about a young kid who supported Liverpool, stood on the Kop, was a follower of Bill Shankly in the 60s, it's the most wonderful time. And as Jim will know, it was the centre of the universe because we had the Mersey beat, and we had the best comedians, and we had the best football teams. Even Everton were good back then. And it was,
You couldn't resist that, could you? You couldn't resist it.
No, I couldn't go away. So the 60s are under Bill Shankly, and don't forget, he pieced it together from nothing. You know, the spine of the team, Tommy Lawrence, Big Ron Yeats, St. John, and like Sir Roger Hunt, who was my favourite. So Shanks will always be my favourite, but the most successful was Bob Paisley.
Okay. Jim, first of all, when you were touring and you were at the height of your drumming with Hootie and the Blowfish, what did you do at Christmas? And did you go to any games at Christmas?
We always got to be home. There just is no rock and roll on Christmas in the world. I think it stops and they roll up the carpets for a little while, which was great. When we were in our earlier days, we worked if we could have worked every day of the year, we would have, because we were looking for business. We were still unsigned. We needed to pay rent, and we were still gathering our fan base. But when we got big, we could more comfortably close up shop. We didn't have Boxing Day to keep us, roll back in immediately either. So we could stay off all the way until New Year's. And if you were wanting to get paid and you were lucky enough to get a New Year's gig, you would always regather for New Year's. But the holidays are always a little bit of time off. in the music business. Even the TV shows that look like they're a Christmas special, I'll blow the secret. They're not
But done
taped
in
on
July.
Christmas. Yeah. I've been
Steady,
in Florida
steady,
taping them.
steady.
So
Okay. Let's move on to our countdown for the World Cup. I'm guessing, Jim, you're USA. I know Tomo's England. Sticking with you, Phil. England's chances for you?
I think we've got a great chance. Rob, we've got some great young players who have all come through. You know, at times you're always looking, you go, oh, we've struggled in this position and in that position. And all of a sudden we've got like great number 10s. You know, Eze. We've got Jude Bellingham. We've got Phil Foden, all vying for this number 10 slot, which is going to gel everything together.
Yeah.
But we've got a good team. Declan Rice is a world class, doesn't get the credit. Obviously here he will be, but he's a proper player. And I've always been a believer, Rod, throughout my life. I always thought England could win the tournaments, win the Euros, win the World Cup every time it come round, and been disappointed for 60 years. So I just feel it could be our time.
Yeah.
And I would love it to happen. I would love it, as Kevin Keegan said.
Football's coming home next year. 60th. The 60th anniversary. Football's coming home. Jim, I'm guessing USA. What's USA? By the way, got a terrific draw. Got a really great draw. USA. What's your take, Jim, on the World Cup?
yeah, well, we're never coming in the favorites. Let's be clear about that. And it doesn't ever stop me from traveling the world to see them. I've been to France. I've been to Germany for World Cups. I've traveled all over the place chasing this team. I just love them. I've always loved the spirit, being underdogs, and I think that's not a bad position to come from. Unfortunately, now we're not rolling into this tournament on any high notes. We're having a big struggle with the new manager, just trying to gel, and so that'll be difficult. The easier draw, I think, is accurate. Rodney, Australia and Paraguay and a European play-in team will be might give us a chance to get a little composure and some energy and get out of our group. That's kind of all we're looking for. Plus, we've got the 8 extra spots. You've got the large field, so there's some third place teams from some of these groups that'll get in as well. So past that, it's you just hope for the miracle. That's what these big tournaments are for. I love waiting for whoever team is going to be that next miracle, or what we call the Cinderella story here. And we're quick to when the USA ever gets knocked out, we jump on the England bandwagon in our family pretty quick.
We all know, Jim, that every World Cup we have a Cinderella story and it never happens. So we'll just wait for that again. Phil, one for you. What's your take on the new format of the World Cup, playing in 3 different countries, Canada, Mexico and the USA? What's your take on that, Phil?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's different. But the travelling and the change of time zones, things like that, is going to be difficult for players, which is so difficult. Just sort of hopping across. It's going to be exciting. Do I like it? No. And I think FIFA adding more teams and more teams to it. Yeah. No, come on. It's not I'm against progression, but my goodness, what could happen in this, Rod, is there could be a couple of embarrassing scorelines in some of the things, which will embarrass the competition.
What do you mean, Phil? What do you mean by that?
Well, it could be an 8, 9, 10 nil games.
Ouch.
That could happen, and you're going to go, this is supposed to be the World Cup. This is supposed to be the teams who've really done Caracau or something like that playing in it. Never got there before. There's only about sort of there's more people in Kirby than there is in Caracau or whatever it is. Now, you just think, I like teams to be given a chance, but this is giving too many chances out. And I think it is diminishing how good the World Cup actually is.
Jim, let me. I want to move off the World Cup now because you both think that England and USA are going to play in the final, and you're both going to win. Let's just finally go back to Liverpool because you're both massive fans. And I'll go back to you, Jim, first, and we'll let Tomo have the last word. Jim, what would you expect between now and the end of the season? And what would be an acceptable finish for Liverpool Football Club this year?
I mean, I don't think any Liverpool fan out there would be pleased with not being back in the Champions League again. That's got to be the bar for any team that's legitimately trying to, fund new signings or old signings in our case. And I think it's Champions League or bust for us. We know the problems with sitting out a year from the Champions League, and it's financial, and so we got to get in there, especially with these big players we've drawn in. I don't know which of their contracts state that they must play in the Champions League or they can go home. That's some of the contracts these days are pretty plain and simple about that stipulation. But yeah, it's Champions League. I don't think there's, unless something real magical happened with our turnaround and our players understanding the system, I don't think we're going to see a league trophy this year, but I think we can be competitive. I truly think once this thing gets flowing, I think it can be a huge machine, and I don't doubt that we can get a lot of points back in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I think that's from my point of view, as I'm not a Liverpool fan, from my point of view, is that's the bare minimum that I would expect from Liverpool Football Club. Great team, Liverpool, and the minimum is what you've laid out. Phil, let's look at where you think Liverpool will be at the end of the season. And, Phil, do they do anything in the transfer window?
Oh, yes. Well, let's have a look at the first part of that question. I do think we'll finish in the top four. We've had a torrid time, absolute torrid time. And yet we're still only short of 3 points away from fourth place. So that is not too far by any means to get into the top four. But I am with Jim as well. After Paris Saint-Germain, what they did last year from a poor position in the league table in the Champions League, they got to the final, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay, those are the words of the music legend Jim Sonefeld, Hootie the Blowfish, and Phil Thompson, captain for 13 trophies and 21 trophies in all. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining the show. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Rod.
All right, there they go.
Good.
Well, that's it for Legends Lounge for this time. Looking forward to seeing you all next time. That was Phil and Jim. I'm off now down to the Mad Dogs at Englishman for a pint of beer. We'll see you all next time on Legends Lounge. Thanks for joining us.